Now, remember we covered the church burnings that happened in the black community in Opelousas, Louisiana. These churches were, some of them, well over 100 years old. Very historic landmarks in those communities. We have seen churches burn in our community as something normal. We have seen this happen over and over and over and over again as an act of domestic terrorism. Now, the guy that did this, Holden Matthews, he was charged with a hate crime for doing this because they found out that he did this on the guise of race. So if anyone understands something about the burning down of churches, it's the black community here in the United States of America. We understand our churches have been bombed and people have been killed, just straight terrorism that we have dealt with in this land. Now, retired New Orleans Saints player Ben Watson, he had launched an effort to help rebuild the churches. Brothers' effort helped raise $1.4 million to help out these churches, and right on. That's good that we heard that. But it was amazing to me with this Notre Dame Cathedral that was burning the other day in France. And I saw all the crying. Oh, Lord. I seen them on CNN. Look like they lost their mama, lost their child. MSNBC, Fox. Oh, they all look like they wanted to cry. And I'm like, what's going on? Why you want to cry for? You know how many black churches have been burnt up, have been completely destroyed? And you're crying over one? But all the history. Well, you want to talk about history? That Catholic Church sanctioned the transatlantic slave trade. Many popes owned slaves. So I really don't have much of an affinity of the Catholic Church at all, any relic that they have. That's how I feel about it. Why weren't you crying the other day when these black churches were burning down right here in the United States of America? Then on top of that, Trump said he's going to assist them in the rebuilding efforts. But I didn't hear Trump say he's going to assist these churches on U.S. soil that were burned down based on some domestic terrorism. He didn't say that at all. So I don't really have much of a feeling about that church. I really don't have much feelings at all about that cathedral, especially when you know the history of everything that's happened to our people. And then don't even get me talking about France. France has neo-colonized 14 African nations, and no one says a thing about that. See, I couldn't be the president of the United States because that would end. Because France would be called out every chance they get. Because I'm like, no, if we can't colonize people, you shouldn't be able to colonize no one either. So France, you know, they've been dealing with a lot of things. All the protests has been going on over there, and rightfully so. Then you have this fire happen. You're doing all the things you're doing in Africa. It could be the good Lord just giving you what you deserve. That's how I feel about that. You're always doing some horrible things to the people in Africa. But they're crying about this one church, and we lost so many. We lost little girls with church bombings, and you know how the Klan has attacked us many times, you know, coming out of churches. And none of them was crying about that. But we all supposed to cry about this one cathedral, please. But shout out to all the people who are, you know, helping with the effort to rebuild those 3 churches. That's great. You know, that's happening, and they still got some great people, you know, in the world. But I just, you know, guys, I just don't have, you know, much, you know, feeling toward, you know, these people when they do that crap. Because, you know, when something happened to them, the world got to stop. When it happened to other people, it's like, oh, well, it is what it is. Even when it's done on the guise of hate, they don't care about that. So I'm like this. How you treat me is the way I treat you. You have love for me, I have love for you. You can't stand me, I can't stand you either. You weep for me, I weep for you. You don't weep for me, I don't weep for you either. That's the way black folks got to be. I don't care. You're going to start talking about, oh, what the Bible. Listen, let me tell you something. You have to respond to certain people how they give things to you. Certain people do not get it unless they get a taste of their own medicine, because turn the other cheek don't work. Not with these people. It don't. I would say turn the other cheek with your brother, because we treat each other that way, how I'm describing, but we refuse to treat others that way. And look at how we treat it throughout the world. I'm just saying. Treat others the way you want to be treated, but understand the treatment that you give me is the treatment I always give you. It's just that simple. Well, leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about this particular story. Like I said, it's great that the community and different people are coming together to rebuild these churches, but it's just amazing all that crying over one. I mean, thing been sitting there over 700 years from what I heard, but they act like they lost their child.